Hello. So my name is Phillip Zapkin. I'm going to be your instructor this semester in English 15. This is a sort of introductory video where I'm going to start trying to orient you toward this course. As you are almost certainly aware at this stage, we are in the midst of a global pandemic, COVID-19, the novel coronavirus, and so Penn State has shifted a lot of its classes online, including the vast majority of its English 15 courses, along with the 202 courses, which are the two things in the English department that most students at the university are required to take. So one thing I do want to sort of just briefly cover right here near the beginning of this video, in regards to the pandemic, if you have any sort of issue that comes up over the course of this semester, whether that's you get sick, or a family member gets sick, someone else in your household gets sick, and hopefully that will not happen. Hopefully that will not happen. So whether something like that happens, if for whatever reason you have difficulty accessing stable internet, if you have difficulty getting easy access to a computer and things like this, anything that's going to create problems for you in this semester or for a portion of this semester, please contact me as soon as you possibly can so that we can try and work out something to keep you on track. Again, this is an extremely unusual semester, an extremely unusual school year, and I do want to make sure that you are as successful as you can possibly be in this semester. So if something comes up and you have a short-term or a long-term issue or something like that, please let me know and we will figure out what the best course of action is in that situation. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what an online course means for a writing class, and I'm going to tell you a couple of things that you want to be aware of before the semester starts and then as we start moving into the semester itself. So first I want to just talk very briefly about our online course and what you can expect. And there's a bunch of videos. I'm also going to attach, if you're watching this video from the email that I have sent out to my students, the syllabus, a copy of the syllabus will be attached, so that'll help you get a sense also of what we're looking at this semester. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit and start getting you oriented toward what to expect. Now, our course is going to be run remote asynchronous. So what that means is that we're not going to be having regularly scheduled digital meetings through Zoom or something like that. For the most part, the materials that you're going to be reading and working through over the course of this semester will already be put up on Canvas by the first day of classes. So that's something that's tremendously useful for you. And then while every Wednesday and Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there will be things that are due. For the most part, you can work through the class at your own pace. So if you want to read ahead, if you want to watch videos prior to the week that they're due, you're totally free to do that. If you have a 9-to-5 day job or something like this, and you can only work through the course material in the evenings, you're totally free to do that. We will have 4 Zoom meetings, and I will send out doodle polls when we get nearer to the days that those 4 meetings are scheduled. But even then, if you can't make it to those, that's okay. So what we'll do in those 4 Zoom meetings, and I'll record those so that if you can't make it, you're still able to get that information. But we're going to go over the assignment sheets for the 4 major projects that we're doing. I'll put this caveat on here right now. If for those Zoom meetings you're not comfortable being recorded, that's totally legitimate. And these recordings are not going to go up on YouTube. They will only go to our Canvas page for reference for our specific class. But if you're not comfortable being recorded, you can turn off your video, you can mute your audio, and so you don't actually need to participate if you're not comfortable doing that. But the reason we're going to have those 4 Zoom meetings when we're going over the assignment sheets is so that you can ask questions and so that you can make sure that you and everybody else in the class, as much as possible, understands what these assignments require. So, that being said, again, for the most part, you'll be able to work through the course at your own pace. Every week you're going to have readings and you're going to have videos that you're going to need to watch, in addition to either short writing assignments or sometimes you'll have a full-length project to turn in. Again, we have 4 full-length projects over the course of the semester. All of that is in the schedule, all of that is in the syllabus, and I've got some videos where I go over the syllabus and sort of talk through some of the assignments and things like this. So hopefully all of this will become clear for you. One of the things I do want you to be aware of: taking an online class, especially something that's skills-based, like a composition class, is more work for you as students than it is to take this class in the classroom. That's unfortunately just the reality of the situation. It is more effort on your part because it's not as easy to have conversations with other people in the class to make sure that you understand concepts and ideas. It's not as easy to ask me questions and things like this because we don't have those sort of back and forth classroom discussions. That being said, I will have Zoom office hours Mondays and Thursdays from 1 to 3, and there's a link to the Zoom meeting scheduled for that up on our Canvas page. So that's something that you will want to take advantage of, especially if you're not sure that you understand exactly what an assignment means, or that you understand how a reading is working or something like this. Please, 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 please take advantage of that. Come to virtual office hours, because that is one of the best ways to, and also if you're working through a project and you're unsure about something, or you just want general feedback, coming to digital office hours or in-person office hours, if we had in-person office hours, is one of the best ways to succeed in a university course. I can't stress that enough. Engaging with your instructor, asking questions, getting clarifications, all of that stuff is super, 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 super useful, and the people who do that tend to get better grades on their project, because I will give you feedback you can then take to strengthen those projects. So that's one thing that I would encourage you to do. The other option that you have, you can email me. My email is pzz1717@psu.edu. I have contact information up on Canvas, and it's in the syllabus, so you've got that information easily available to you. I think I'm also the only person at the university whose last name is Zapkin, so if you start typing Zapkin into your Penn State email, it should give you a sort of recommendation of who that would be, what email address that would be. So that's the other thing that you can do outside of regular Zoom office hours, is you can email me. Please, again, do that if you have any questions, if you have concerns, if you want feedback or suggestions or anything like that. So the next thing that I'm going to cover very briefly is the textbooks that you're required to buy for this course. And this is, again, written in the syllabus as well, but I want to show you what these textbooks look like so that you can get a hold of them before our semester actually starts. So one of the textbooks is this one. It's called Penn Statements. It's got a green cover. I don't know how well you can see that that's green in the camera, but this is volume 39, so you want to make sure that you get volume 39. of Penn Statements, because every year they come out with a new edition of Penn Statements. If you have a previous edition, you will not have the correct readings in it. This is pretty much available exclusively from the Penn State bookstore. So there's a link to their website in our on our Canvas page, as well as in the syllabus. So you'll want to make sure you get this from them. Again, these get replaced every year, so there aren't a ton of used copies floating around. But if you happen to know someone who took English 15 this past spring, you can see if they still have their copy. Other than that, they're pretty difficult to find. The other textbook that you need to get is the New Harbrace Guide, the 3rd edition. Now, this is available from Penn State Bookstore as well, and officially as a representative of Penn State, I'm supposed to encourage you to buy from Penn State Bookstore and not tell you that things like Amazon, Abe Books, and eBay exist. So officially buy from Penn State Bookstore, but unofficially those places also exist. So this is not specifically created for Penn State. This is pretty widely available. You want the 3rd edition of this, and there's a couple of different versions of this floating around. So one is this one with the little roundel up there that says with the 2016 MLA updates. This one, for the most part, comes in this unbound loose leaf format. So if you like that, you're welcome to get this version. If you don't like that, there is a newer version, which I actually just got in the mail today. And this one, first off, has a blue border around it, but it also has this little roundel that says, includes the APA 7th edition updates. So this is a slightly newer version, has a slightly updated version of APA. And so if you're in the sciences or the social sciences, where people tend to use APA citations, that actually might be a worthwhile investment for you. So you can get either of those versions. There are also ebook versions of this, of the New Harbrace Guide. And if you're more comfortable buying and reading a digital copy, you're welcome to do that as well. So you want to make sure that you're getting the textbooks for this class pretty well ahead of the semester, especially if you're ordering them to be delivered to you. You want to make sure you give the Postal Service plenty of time to deliver them. The last thing I'm going to very briefly do in this video, to make things slightly easier for you, because we are going to be watching a lot of videos, most of them of me talking. If you need it, I'm going to briefly transition and show you how to pull up the closed captioning on YouTube videos so that you can see the text of what I'm saying in addition to just listening to me. And I'm going to be going through all of my videos that I'm making this semester and ensuring that the closed captions are accurate. So if that's a resource that you want, here's how you would pull those up. So it's pretty easy to turn on the closed captioning in YouTube, and even if you're watching this through our Canvas channel, you should be able to turn on the closed captioning in the same way. So let's say you're watching one of my videos and you want the subtitles for whatever reason. Basically, all you have to do is click on this little button right here that says CC. And once it's got a red line under it, that means they're turned on. And so you can see here, they've already started here. So you can read through the closed captions following my narration. Another option that you can do, and some people find this very useful, is to change the playback speed. So you can decrease the playback speed or increase the playback speed, whatever you want. And some people find it easier to follow along with YouTube videos or things like this when the person is speaking more slowly. And I tend to talk pretty fast in these YouTube videos because I want to jam as much information in there as I possibly can. But again, these are good ways to make these videos more accessible for you if you're having trouble following along with what I'm saying.